So this is just a quick example of how to use grid-based sequencing or wave sequencing and using drums as your sound source. So I have a lead drum solo kit, and here's where the emphasized drums play. So from this kit, I create my additional elements. Here's an example of just the basic building blocks. So then I explode the polyphony, separate MIDI events by note pitch. So now I have a bunch of different regions I can mess with here. And what I do is I offset the timing by like a beat or a 16th note, etc., and I use grids of kicks, grids of snares, and some hi-hat stuff as well. So in this example, I just did a basic run through just to show how it can be done. So you can use other sounds besides kicks and snares and hats along with your grid here. So that makes it spicy. So then we can turn a basic drum loop into something like this. And for things like this, you can mess with the panning on each of these channels. You can have effects to each of these channels, and each of these things is triggering a different note. Now, the amount of stuff you want to delve into here is the sky's the limit. That's where it becomes like coding in music or using grid-based music. There's not much musical intuition needed, but you can add that later or on the fly as desired. So then we can take something like that and further transform it by speeding it up and messing with the time and pitch. And another example. And then a final example of just how far off we can go from the original content. So there you have it. You can take just a basic drum kit, explode the polyphony of drum sounds, because this is multiple regions here. Those each get their own tracks. Then those tracks get further split by copying and pasting new tracks. I could have 20 kicks, I could have 20 snares, and each of those things could be firing off different sounds. Now what you need to do here is keep track of things so you know how to lower the volume as necessary, and then maybe further compress things so that they'll kind of glue together later on. Now when you start adding things like reverb and delay effects and weird tempo changes, you're really going to get some interesting effects going on, like this motorcycle that's driving around in back of me while I'm talking. But anyways, it's just a basic example of how to mess with music from a non-musical intuition mindset. You just code it in, and you just keep playing with it until you like what you hear.